Boom! Welcome back to The Perfect Bag. My name's Clint, and I've got a level with y'all. I've never been more nervous to make a video. I've been planning this video for over a year, and I'm really excited, and I'm really nervous, and I'm really scared that I'm going to screw it up. So bear with me. I've actually, don't do this regularly, but I've got my iPad out here. I'm still going to do a one-take video. I don't want to, fudge over mistakes and super smooth everything out. I just want to tell you about something that I'm really passionate about, and I hope I get it right. I hope I do this story and this work justice. I'm bound to get some information wrong. And those of you who know better than me, don't be scared about dropping into the comments and fact checking me and getting the story right if I mess anything up. What are we talking about today? We're talking about my favorite bag designer and, in my opinion, the greatest bag designer that's ever lived. That's my opinion. All right, we're talking about Koichi Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi-san is a Japanese bag designer who's been very prolific in his life and has created a lot of bags under a lot of different labels and done just some incredibly influential work. But before we get there, I want to take you on the journey of how I discovered this bag designer. And do we even think about sometimes the designers, the people who make the bags that we love so much? We know brand names, but do we know people names? Do we know who makes this stuff, who designs this stuff? I don't think we do to the degree that we should for those who are really artists. So how does this start? I was sitting out at the pool, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago? Yeah, 2.5 years ago. And I was doing some sketching, and I was doodling out what I thought would be a really cool backpack. It's something I do from time to time, just pen and paper, just sketch out some features and some funkiness and something that I really would love to see. I saved this sketch, so I'm going to show it to you right now. But yeah, that's what I came up with. I was just doodling, but less than a week later, I saw a bag that had been created, had been made by a company in Japan. And I had never heard of this company in Japan, and I had never heard of this bag design, but I started learning as fast as I could. So what was the bag? This was the bag. And you've probably seen it on my bag wall. I've done multiple videos on this bag. This is the Flyers 70XX from Harvest Label. And when I bought this bag, and I bought it off of a Kickstarter, I believe, it was around $400. It came in this beautiful sage colorway, also black and navy. I loved, I mean, how could you not? How could you not love that? It's just beautiful. It's amazing. So I bought the bag, and then I started learning about the bag. I found out that this bag was a reproduction or an homage to a bag that kind of kickstarted this company. And that's where I just started going down the rabbit hole. Fast forward, I'm going to set this down for a minute. Fast forward another year and change, and I'm visiting Japan for the first time in my life. It's been bucket list for me. I'm about to go back for my third time. I'm smitten. I'm in love. I'm in love with the people, the place, the culture, the food, everything. So I'm in Japan, and I'm walking down the street near Ueno train station on a shopping street, and I see to my right a bag store. I walk into the bag store, and here's what I found. Let me roll a short from that trip. In Tokyo today, I got to swing by Motoyama Bags, which has been around since the 1920s. Look at the amazing selection of Japanese branded bags that they have from Porter and Masterpiece and all the brands that you would expect. Tons of sling bags, tons of dead stock, collaborations, limited editions. This place was heaven. Look at those Mizuno backpacks, amazing. So got to see a little bit of everything today, got to see some things I've never seen before and some very historic advertisements and magazines and everything that this place has on file. Was delighted. The sales clerk was incredibly helpful and we got to geek out on bags and our favorite Japanese bag designers. Upstairs, I found even more goodies. This place was amazing. All right, so you get some of the majesty of what I found. But what I really found, in addition to some kindred spirits who also obsess over bags, great store. I'll put a link to that store in the video description. Multiple links to that store because their website is kind of a time capsule. And a lot of it has to do with Yamaguchi-san's work. So, what I found more than anything was I found another bag that had this pocket on it. Stood out like just blinking at me like, look at this. It's the same funky little pocket. And this pocket is really unique. This pocket has a Velcro and snap closure to create a pocket here. And then this pocket has a Velcro drop behind it here. So it's two pockets in one space and it's got some extra dimension due to the folding of the padding. It's just really well designed and it's really fun and it's really unique. And so I asked the question, who designed this bag? The staff at the shop, I've got to say, was delighted that I asked because they were huge fans of Koichi Yamaguchi as well and started taking me down a journey, a story of the design career of Koichi Yamaguchi. And they showed me a picture as well, and I'll put it on screen right now. This is the man. A little bit of a fashion icon, rebel, Neil Young fan, funky rock star bag designer. Definitely a little iconoclastic from what I gather, especially later in his career. And I was just mesmerized. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do in this video. Minutes and minutes in, I'm going to tell you what the video is about. We're going to walk through the story of the design career of Koichi Yamaguchi, Japanese bag designer, and in that story, we're going to look at bags and impact of this very prolific, very influential, very highly skilled and gifted designer. This is not a biography. I do not have tons of details about Yamaguchi-san's life and family and birthday, and I don't have all that. I don't. Somebody does, but I don't, and that's not what we're doing here. We're showing appreciation for the craft of designing and making bags and showing appreciation to a real master of the craft. So, we begin. I do know that Koichi Yamaguchi was born sometime around 1950 in Japan, and fast forward, received his first job in the bag industry with a small company named Yoshida Porter. And you may know Yoshida Porter, well, you do if you follow this channel, as one of the largest and most famous bag design makers in all of Japan, and really most honored and revered bag making companies in the world. High fashion with a very defined look and feel across their brand. You can see these bags in multiple high-end stores. They're very expensive, very high quality stuff. Now, let's talk about when Koichi Yamaguchi, and I'm going to use my notes, so I'm sorry about that. Koichi Yamaguchi joined Porter in 1968 and worked at Porter in the 70s, making bags, designing bags, going to trade shows all over the world, in New York, around, learning the craft, learning from other folks, and being influenced by travel and by the entire world. So from there, working at Porter, the Tanker series was developed, from what I can tell, putting my research together in multiple locations. The Tanker series was worked on at inception in the early 80s, like 1983, by Koichi Yamaguchi. So first off, right out of the gates, working at Porter and developing the Tanker series. Now, what is the Tanker series? The Tanker series has a very defined look and feel. Now, I do not have a Tanker bag designed by Koichi Yamaguchi. What you will learn through this video is that there are a lot of bags influenced by the designs of Yamaguchi-san, but not his bags. You can tell by looking at most of these bags, and they will actually say Koichi Yamaguchi on the label of the bags. I'll show you an example at our next stop. But for now, let's appreciate that this iconic series, the Tanker series, was worked on early on in his career by Koichi Yamaguchi. And this really does influence a lot of what comes next. And the designs that you see carried on at Porter, but also carried on at the brands and labels that Koichi Yamaguchi went on to work at, okay? Additionally, very importantly, and this is another Porter bag, I wanted to show you the label here. So I'll put it up on the screen as well. That label, from the source, as near as I can tell, from the sources that I have available to me, that label looks to also have been designed by Koichi Yamaguchi around this time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. So, after that stint with Porter, designing the Tanker series, potentially the label for Porter, Yoshida Porter, amazing. Then Yamaguchi-san moves over to a brand within the same house and design studio called Luggage Label. Okay, Porter has lots of different labels underneath of the umbrella of the master brand, as do a lot of Japanese companies, and they're usually tiered by either form and function or by price bands, like an entry-level brand, a premium brand, etc. It allows them to do more things design-wise and not be like held to one particular road for all their bags. So design-wise, Luggage Label comes next. And when in 1984, Koichi Yamaguchi left the Porter studio and went into the Luggage Label studio and was there for 10 years until 1994, from what I see. Worked on a lot of bags that had a lot of impact. Most notably, the Super Hercules bag was developed during this time for Luggage Label, which is a day pack which eventually turned into this bad boy. More to come. But what I have here that I wanted to show you is an actual bag designed by Koichi Yamaguchi during his time at Luggage Label. And this is a leather rucksack. And you can see the military design. You can see the iconic Luggage label here in red and white. Nylon straps on the back, very militaria. And you have a lot of unique things going on here. Up top, we have a little cover that turns into kind of a passport and document holder, and then closes up on itself and is snapped shut. So very, very unique right there. Built-in document holder. Then we have some snaps on the side here that open up and into the main compartment, which is held in place with cord. So just a really, really cool design And on the inside, on this label, what you have is Luggage Label by K. Yamaguchi, Yoshida and Company Limited. Amazing. And then it gives the address for Yoshida and Company. So you can tell on the label if this is a Koichi Yamaguchi bag or if it came after Koichi Yamaguchi in terms of design, in which case it would be influenced by, but not designed by Yamaguchi-san. So this is the first bag that I have in terms of actually designed by Koichi Yamaguchi in his career. It's just a real treasure to me. So look at that. And we're talking about this being designed at some point within the decade that Koichi Yamaguchi was working on Luggage Label bags. So this is a great starting place if you would like to dive into this kind of wormhole of Koichi Yamaguchi's career. And you can see here, look at this. There's a zipper on the bottom of this pocket that adds in flex to the actual pocket. So a secondary zipper on the bottom of the pocket to add in extra dimension to the front pockets and extra appeal to the design, visual appeal. And so that's something I've noticed about Yamaguchi-san's bags is the fasteners and straps aren't just functional, they are part of the design, but they aren't just part of the design, they're functional. And so there is a kind of balance of form and function, design versus utility. It's not versus utility with these bags. It's design and utility, and it's not one driving the other. It's both in concert, producing a just really amazing bag. So we've got to move on. We move on, as Koichi Yamaguchi did, from Luggage Label to start up his own company with a partner. And that company was Harvest Label. And so I've got two examples of Harvest Label bags here. I'm going to set this one to the side because this one, as I mentioned, came out just a few years ago. It is based on and inspired by the Super Hercules bag, which was available at launch with Harvest Label, but this isn't the real deal. This, however, is the real deal. And you can see that this two-way bag, briefcase style and messenger style, is very, very closely related to some of the tanker designs that still exist on the market and some of the things that are still being produced all over Japan. You can see this pocket again. Okay, we've got the Velcro and the snaps, the rip-away pocket. We've got another pocket on the inside here. Mixed materials, right? We've got mesh. Got multiple pockets. We've got snaps. We've got chunky, beefy zippers going on. The strap itself is a beautiful blue nylon strap with contrasting yellow, like a pale yellow stitching. Just gorgeous. On the back, pockets, inside, pockets, both mesh on each side there. But you can see the design, and you can see some of the design language that is going to follow along with Yamaguchi-san in his career that is, I mean, instantly recognizable when you see a bag that was designed by Koichi Yamaguchi. Just amazing. And then what do we have in here? We have a label. And this label says, Harvest Label, Koichi Yamaguchi, Harvest Corporation. That's it. That's what you're looking for on these bags. And this is not only just drop dead gorgeous, but it was produced right around 1995, 1996. And so Yamaguchi-san moved from Luggage Label and struck out on his own, creating the Harvest Corporation in partnership with a partner in around 94, 95. And so this bag, 95, 96, it looks like it was made yesterday. Quality-wise and design language-wise, it is beautiful. It is a stunning bag. It's got pockets behind pockets. So much depth, so much detail, all while still being this one navy blue color. Military inspired throughout, right? Militaria, heavy canvases, all kinds of interesting stuff going on. All right. So Harvest Label and the time at Harvest Label lasts until 2004. So we're talking about another kind of decade-long chunk. So like 90s, we'll call it, like 95, 96. We're talking Harvest Label all the way until 2004. In 2004, goodbye. In 2004, Yamaguchi-san again strikes out and creates another design house, another label. This one is called Out of the Blue. Out of the Blue. And these ones are a little tougher to find, but I have here a beautiful example of a bag. This is from the Defense series with Out of the Blue. And this is a beautiful nylon, again, military-inspired bag. You can see the 3 rows of overdone moly paneling. You've got the Out of the Blue logo on that side. Let me hold this up side by side so you can see the design progression from one house to the other. On the back here, we've got an adjustable strap that can be clipped into the front or multiple points on the back. And you've got, again, monochromatic, but playing around with different fasteners and different straps and fabrics to create visual interest within the bag, even though this is fundamentally just a green bag. So it's military inspired, but not military exclusive in terms of design and feel. In the front here, you've got a beautiful front panel, beautiful admin panel with mixed media pockets. You've got a key leash, you've got a drop pocket right here, and then you've got a drop pocket in the front with Velcro hook and loop closure. The main compartment of the bag itself opens up, and you can see on the front, drop pocket, and big drop pocket, and on the back, big sleeve for all kinds of just design, laptops, tech, folders, etc. And right here, what do you have? Out of the Blue, Koichi Yamaguchi. So this was the next stop. So Porter to Luggage Label to Harvest Corporation to Out of the Blue. And what comes next? What comes next is Weld. And so Weld, we start to see kind of a departure and some different designs that Koichi Yamaguchi is playing around with versus some of the other bags that I've seen. But a really interesting bag that I've got my hands on here from Weld. This is a lighter material, but on the front, can you see this pocket? Can you see some similarities in the pleat of the pocket and the snaps to access? So fascination again with fasteners and closures, fascination with creating visual interest on a monochromatic bag with pleats and stitching. I'm seeing it. I hope y'all are as well. This is a fun little crossbody bag. Very easy to wear and very light. Velcro closure. And then inside, we've got the back flap pocket and the front flap pocket, just like we did in the last bag from Out of the Blue. Okay? It's not overdone with pockets on the inside. It's always seems to be front pocket, back pocket situation, maybe an additional pocket. And then we have the Weld logo here with a really nice gold applique that says Koichi Yamaguchi, Weld, designed in Japan. Just fantastic. So Weld is the brand or design label of Koichi Yamaguchi that I found the least information on. It was a very small stint. From what I understand, this label ran for just about a year, 2007, 2008. There's less that I found information-wise, but I did find some. And I'm going to provide links to everything that I found in the video description. And I think part of why I didn't find as much information is the segmentation of the internet between Western countries and Eastern countries in terms of different internets and different websites and different languages and browsers not being able to search in different languages. So I think I ran into quite a few challenges here, and I hope that some of my viewers from Japan can chime in and add additional details. And again, feel free to correct me if I got something wrong. I'm not pretending to be the definitive source on Yamaguchi-san's life or his designs. I am hoping to show appreciation and hoping to get more people out there who watch my channel interested in this amazing designer and interested in his work. So what comes next? Unfortunately, we're about to arrive at the last stop on this journey, which is a label created by Koichi Yamaguchi called Steel Buffalo, STBU, Steel Buffalo. And this is, I've got to say, kind of the pinnacle for me. And this is the bag that I walked into in Motoyama, near Ueno Station in Japan, that I walked in and said, oh my God, what is that? I have to have that. And then I made the connection between Steel Buffalo and Harvest Label, and then I went down this rabbit hole to begin with. So, Steel Buffalo. Let me pull out the bag that sent me on this journey. This is it right here. So this is a two-way bag from Steel Buffalo. If it looks familiar, it probably should. Right? This is the pocket. And it was screaming at me because it was in bright yellow. But this is the pocket. Snap in the corner, Velcro, pocket inside, Velcro behind with a secondary panel, snaps all over. It's the same pocket. And it is evolved and crisp. You can see the label, Steel Buffalo. And then on the back, you can see visual interest with kind of, even though it's a black bag on the back, you've got kind of subdivisions, you've got chunky zippers, you've got a beautiful panel, you've got a two-way carry, and then inside, wow, inside you've got awesomeness. You've got the gold applique of STBU, which was picked up at Weld. We saw that first in the Weld bag. And then you've got Steel Buffalo, Koichi Yamaguchi. And then it says Steel Buffalo, limited edition right here. And then inside the bag, what do we have? 3 drop pockets with a front pocket. And then on the back side, 1 zippered pocket. Pocket, pocket. Pocket, pocket. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. This is from the Yellowstone series. Now, if you're going to understand the design, language, and work of Koichi Yamaguchi, you have to learn the difference between series and labels and companies, and it's tough to unravel, and those are not potentially the exact right words, but there's companies like Yoshida Porter, Harvest Corporation. Then there's labels like the Tanker series, the Luggage Label, etc. within. And then there's series like this. This is Steel Buffalo. This is Yellowstone, a series under the label Steel Buffalo. Amazing, right? Think about some American brands you may know. So like there's Nike, but then also within Nike there's Jordan. And within Jordan there's the Air Jordan. So thinking about it that way, there's Converse, there's Chuck Taylor, there's different series, and then there's a bit of a seasonality to this because this is kind of high fashion design impacted as well. So this is a two-way briefcase. This is a two-way helmet bag. Another one that's just gorgeous. A little bit taller, just a little bit thinner, just a little bit. You've got the same pocket, but a smaller version of it. The same pocket, but a smaller version of it. This pleat down the middle should look familiar. Because that pleat has been around since the Tanker series, and this kind of extra dimension to a thin pocket at the bottom has been around since the Tanker series. It's just really, really good. But it's not the only series in the Steel Buffalo era. And the Steel Buffalo era carries Koichi Yamaguchi's career from 2008 until retirement. From what I can tell, there was also a little bit of a collaboration series with Masterpiece. I don't have anything from that time. This is a Masterpiece bag to kind of tell you a little bit about the design language of Masterpiece. It's more playful, more fun than some of the other Japanese brands that are out there, a little bit more casual. But I don't have any of those collaboration bags to show you, and I'm sorry about that. I do have another tote from Steel Buffalo. This is a beautiful woodland camo Steel Buffalo bag, pocket on the front, again with the pleats, always facing kind of to the left from the right on these pleats. The label on the front, we've got snaps again as the closure of choice. No pocket on the back, really chunky zipper with an oversized zipper pull. And then inside the bag, what do we have? If you said pocket in the back, pocket in the front, then you would be correct. Pocket in the back, pocket in the front. Wow. So everybody, I hope that you've learned a little bit here about Koichi Yamaguchi, and I hope that you, like me, have become interested in his work. But we've got 50, 60 years of bag making experience on display, 70 years, 60 years. Koichi Yamaguchi, from what I understand, is still alive and retired, spending time with family. I will link to a Facebook group that is kind of an official Koichi Yamaguchi Facebook fan group. And it appears that Yamaguchi-san routinely drops personal notes along with bags and personal photos from his career journey into that group. I found a lot of the information that I used in this video through Motoyama and also through that Facebook group. So credit to that group, credit to the moderators of that group, credit to the sales staff and ownership at Motoyama. I will link and put the address. If you're in Tokyo, you need to visit. You just do. I go back every single time that I visit and I buy a new bag. Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I've been working on it for a long time, and my sincerest hope is that instead of just cool bags on the wall behind me, because a lot of these had to come off the wall to make this video, that you know that every bag has a story and every company is made up of real people who put a lot of work into the designs that we appreciate so much. So when possible, learn about those folks. Start to spot the extra care, the extra attention, the extra work. It's why I'm so into some of the one-man shops that I work on. It's why I like to meet the people who make the bags and have conversations with them. The stuff is fun. It's cool. It's not the most important work in the world, right? We're not, when we talk about bags, talking about inventing the cure for cancer, but we're talking about life, and we're talking about the things we own and the things that we carry with us and the things that become a part of our lives. And Koichi Yamaguchi is my favorite. And these bags are my favorite. And I'm always hunting on Bai, more bags by Koichi Yamaguchi, and I'll probably keep collecting as long as I'm collecting bags. Everybody, I hope you learned something. I hope this was a fun video for you to watch. I have no idea how successful this video will be, but I hope you also understand how much I love doing this and how much I love talking bags with all of you and sharing the best bags in the world with you. Please visit the Facebook page linked in the comments. If you're in Tokyo, please visit Motoyama. And if you have appreciated this video, please subscribe, like the video. And gosh, everybody, thank you. And to Yamaguchi-san, if you ever watch this video, thank you very much for designing such incredible bags, and for continuing to push the industry forward and the impact that you had in the industry in Japan and across the world. Please know that it was lasting and it had real impact, and it is appreciated, and that's it. Yeah. Wow. Everybody, thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.